We're sitting on the Pyro 4. Storms have been raging for ages. You can't get a ship down there. Turbulence is too much. Visibility is completely shot. The people in the base, they've got their anti-air set up as well. And then suddenly they're hearing the rumbling of Tyre moving across the hillside. Just hordes and hordes of Spartans. And you know they're filled to the brim with people who are just stocked up, they're locked and loaded, and they're just ready to get out and just go, well, this base is going to be ours now because you protected against the air. But you did nothing for land.
As Star Citizen evolves and the systems get larger and more of them come online, and gameplay features come online, we've been looking at the ways that players get to places. And as you saw at CitizenCon, one thing that is becoming very apparent is that a lot of locations are going to be well defended from the air.
You've got anti-aircraft cannons, you've got protection for this ground structure. It might be that there's a big storm coming in, it might be that visibility is low, and with a lot of our ships you're limited on how you can approach, and that's kind of where the Anvil Spartan comes in. The Anvil Spartans are first dedicated armoured personnel carrier.
You have 3 ways onto the vehicle. You have 2 entrances in the middle, so you have left and right entrance and exit. And then you have a more traditional troop transport rear folding ramp.
It can carry up to 8 troops plus their weapon loadout. It's got space for 1 crew member who's going to drive the thing. It's fast because if it wasn't fast, you may as well just run there yourself.
Anvil's a very well developed manufacturer within our universe, and we had a really strong base already with the ballista.
In terms of defense, it is quite well armored, especially compared to the ballista, and it retains the dual size 2 gun that is operated by the driver on top of the cap. The Spartan is built off the same chassis that the Anvil Ballista is, which is we're terming the Anvil Atlas. The Anvil Atlas is the shared platform that both the Ballista and the Spartan sit on.
While it may seat 8 troops in the vehicle, I don't see why you couldn't cram literally as many as can sit down or stand up on top of it. Just may want to be careful of the turret on the vehicle itself. I mean, I tested it. You can definitely shoot your friend if they're on top of it, because there's nothing to stop it doing that.
One of the sort of visual features a lot of people notice on the exterior of the Spartan is the ladders on the side, and at the initial release these are unfortunately not usable, but they are fully intended that players will be able to get on them in the future and then clamber on top of the vehicle, and then it's up to you whether you want to do some offensive or defensive capabilities. The Spartan releases straight into the game in Star Citizen Alpha 3.15.1, and I'm super excited to see how players use it. We always have our intention, but there's always cool and innovative ways that players use our ground vehicles.
The Anvil Spartan is the latest ground vehicle making its way to the persistent universe, and doing so straight to drivable during this year's IAE festivities. So be sure you check out the website for all the remaining details. And up next, a ship whose journey from concept to reality took a different path than most. The Aegis Redeemer is up next in our IAE special Inside Star Citizen.
The Redeemer is the first ship that was actually designed by the backers.
It sort of was a product of its time, and the game evolved quite a lot since then. We knew we wanted to reinvent the ship, and it's quite a different beast from back then. We've spoken in the past about how the Redeemer was originally a hybrid dropship gunship, and over time we've expanded the lineup of our ships to make the dropship side of the Redeemer redundant. So it was decided that we would fully focus on the gunship side. It is there to come to an area, absolutely annihilate and control the skies and the ground around it.
I'd say the Redeemer is good for a group who want good offense while also having pretty decent defense. At the front of the ship, we have the cockpit, which obviously holds the pilot seat and dashboard. When it came to the Redeemer cockpit, we actually used the Gladius as a base. We wanted to make sure we had very good visibility, and obviously the Gladius has that. It's not exactly the same as the Gladius, but you might see the similarities there once you're piloting the Redeemer. The pilot guns are ballistic cannons. You go down those steps and we've got the 2 remote turret seats at the front. The guns that are attached to the remote turret on the Redeemer are actually size 3 laser cannons. Now, if there is nobody in the front remote turret, that gun can also be controlled by the pilot, so then it has full control of its own guns and the front remote turret. We've got the first manned turret in the turret room. The manned turrets are using size 5 ballistic Gatlings. The guns that we've made for the manned turrets have actually been made new for the Redeemer. Not specific to the Redeemer, but this is the first time that you'll get to see them and use them. We have the 4 crew seats in the turret room as well. And then behind there is the component room where you can access all of the components. We have huge power plant, shield generators, coolers. They are massive. If you go down the ladders, where we have a airlock door control there as well, we go into the habitation area. In the habitation area, we've got a fully stocked fridge with usable drinks. So, you know, you can have a little party in the habitation area of the Redeemer if you want. We've got 4 escape pods for the crew. And we have a toilet and a 2 SCU cargo hold at the back as well. And you exit via the ramp.
One of my favourite bits of the Redeemer is the nutcrackers, the side engines. We haven't got anything else in game that's like that.
They add a lot of animation and life to the exterior of the ship.
So they will open up with increased velocity. They're closed as default when the landing gear is out. And we're hoping to get some more movements in there in future. So we want to have them rotate side to side when you're moving around more in the ship as well.
With all that said about the Redeemer, we've seen what it was, how it is now. I think there's only really one last thing to say about it, and it's something that we've said many, many times about various ships, and this ship in particular, and a lot of ships, to the point where it has almost become a meme. But this is absolutely the ship that punches above its weight class.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that a Star Citizen continues to expand into new gameplay systems like inclement weather and new outpost systems with advanced anti-air. So too come with it the need for ground-based troop transports like the Anvil Spartan. That we can finally close the book on the next great starship with the Aegis Redeemer, and that it may look different than most, but it looks deadliest when you're right in front of it. It'll bring the pew. Now, the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo begins this week, so don't forget to log in and make the trek to Microtech to experience all the festivities. And we'll be back right here next week with looks into 2 more additions to Star Citizen's pantheon of spacecraft and vehicles. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckaby. Enjoy your IAE, everyone, and don't forget to check out new merch on the merch store. And this, look at this, look at this. How cool is that?